The Eagles got some great injury news this morning as the Birds fly to Cincinnati to take on Joe Burrow and the Bengals. But why does Joe Cool sound a little worried about Fangio's defense this time around? Plus, how can Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean slow down the dynamic duo of Chase and Higgins? And why Jalen Hurts might finally have his best game of the season this Sunday? From Thomas Mott, this is the Thomas Mott Show. The Eagles and Bengals enter Week 8 following very similar paths to start the season. Both had high expectations throughout training camp, both struggled a lot early on in the season, and both recently have found their stride with back-to-back wins over the same teams, the Giants and Cleveland Browns. Philadelphia has struggled in recent history with Cincinnati, with games like the famous 13-13 McNabb doesn't realize a tie can happen game in 2008, followed by the Bengals blowing out Philadelphia in both 2012 and 2016, and then famously another tie in 2020 where Fletcher Cox and the Eagles defense sacked rookie Joe Burrow 8 times in Week 3 of that year. Something Burrow told reporters earlier this week he remembers well and doesn't miss.
We tied. It wasn't very fun.
Are you I was thinking about this, are you kind of upset that Fletcher Cox isn't playing anymore?
I can't say that, no. He's a great player, always was, always disruptive, so I'm glad he's retired.
But the real matchup this time will be Joe Burrow in this iteration of the Bengals offense, presenting, honestly, the first true test in the last 2 weeks for Fangio and his new-look Eagles D. Speaking of which, it's time for our weekly Guess the Stats to win a Thomas Mott Show t-shirt. One person down below in the comment section can correctly, hard to do, but someone's going to do it, give me Joe Burrow's stats in terms of touchdowns, passing yards, and interceptions. I'll send you one of my TMS Show shirts. Now, when looking at the Bengals' recent success, real factor has been similar to Philadelphia, being turnover-free. Joe Burrow has not thrown an interception in the past 2 games, and like Hurts, when the Eagles and Bengals both do that, they win a lot more than they lose. But Philadelphia does have Vic Fangio this time around. He's fresh off back-to-back games without surrendering a touchdown on defense, and in his lone meeting against Joe Burrow back with Denver in 2021, he held Cincinnati to just 10 points and kept Jamar Chase and Tee Higgins at a combined 3 catches for 26 yards. Something Burrow emphasized is a massive strength of Vic Fangio's in that he has a really great ability this year to mix up his looks on a given week.
He adapts year to year. A little more too high than he used to call. I would say he mixes it up a little more than he used to. Keeps you on your toes, sends the pressure here and there. So you got to be ready for a lot of different things. They mix it up front-wise, personnel-wise, quarters, single high, cloud. So they do a good job disguising everything, making everything look the same.
Also, there are only 6 Eagles home games left this season, meaning if you want to go see the Birds in person at the Link, well, time's running out, so channel sponsor SeatGeek is here to help. Which right now, anybody watching the show can get 10% off any tickets purchased at SeatGeek if they use my promo code MOTT10 at checkout. And that's regardless if you want to go to an Eagles game, or a Sixers game, or a concert, or a festival, you name it. Even though I'm pretty sure you probably want Birds tickets, SeatGeek has a ton of tickets available. They also rate all their tickets on a scale from 1 to 10, so finding tickets and a really good deal is super easy. What I do though, look for the green dot, that means great deal. Yellow, not so good. And red, they're probably not the best deal overall. And again, my promo code MOTT10 works no matter how many times you've bought tickets with SeatGeek. So if it's your first time or your 100th time, you're still gonna get 10% off. Just take out your phone, download the SeatGeek app, and add promo code MOTT10 to your account to get this limited time deal, again, limited, on your chance to get obviously 10% off, hopefully your next order of Eagle tickets. Now the Birds D-line has been phenomenal, again, the past 2 weeks. We're talking about 13 sacks against the Browns and Giants combined. If they can keep the pressure and obviously the sacks up versus Burrow, BG himself knows they could have a really impressive game on Sunday in Cincinnati.
You got Vic for his first year. Everybody's starting to see like what it is on how he sees the game and how he want things looking on film, and how he want us to play. And I feel like everybody just been working, chipping away on trying to be the best at their position, and it's just coming together nicely. But we got to stay consistent. It's about consistency in this league, as you know. Each and every week, you got to carry out that game plan, and the ones who make the least mistakes usually be the ones who win in the game.
Still, the main battle everyone's going to be keeping an eye on, both in Philadelphia and Cincinnati, is going to be the Eagle rookie phenom Quinyon Mitchell with his first, honestly, real matchup against a top 5 wide receiver in Jamar Chase. Mitchell has yet to allow a touchdown and has kept his completion percentage under 50% this year, again, against pretty decent competition, but nowhere near the class of a guy like Ja'Marr Chase. Chase is going to present a brand new challenge for the rookie, and honestly, I'm pumped to see how Q responds. I do like what Slay said, though, during his press conference yesterday when asked about the matchup. He sounds pretty confident in the young player.
It's going to be a great matchup just because you know who they are as a, you know, from the quarterback standpoint to the receiver standpoint, they are, you know, one of the other best duos in this league. You know, Chase right now is playing absolutely amazing. Being as like I'm for sure seeing him as definitely the number one receiver in the league right now with what he got his statistics. Can't get that word out with his stacks and everything, right? And you know he's doing a great job right now, man. Yeah, he's having a great year. Oh, might as well. You know, hey, it's a football though, and that's football. It's not like throwing them out there to see what they do. We already know what they can do. Them two guys are amazing players. They continue to just keep out there and just execute and play fast and play physical, and just let your job just take care of the rest.
Also, for his part, Ja'Marr Chase was asked about the Cole Quinyon situation and showed respect, but I think sounded pretty confident and seems like he's going to have, in his mind, a pretty big day versus the Birds secondary.
Yeah, he's an outstanding cornerback for real, man. He got great ball skills when the ball's in the air for real. And he got a little makeup speed too. I mean, take the gimmies, break the tackles to get the extra gains. You know, eventually they'll come down, get tighter, and then we go over the top. But we got to pick and choose against the good matchups too.
Now, Q again gets all the focus, but Cooper DeJean is also going to be out there and probably doing a lot with both Chase and Higgins at the nickel position. So far, DeJean has been pretty mistake-free. We haven't really talked about him a lot the past couple of weeks because he hasn't made any sort of major errors, which he said is going to be a big factor in him playing well again against the Bengals wide receivers.
We get to go up against one of the best receiver duos in practice every week, you know, so that helps us. You know, but you know they present their challenges. You know, obviously they've. You know, Ja'Marr and Burrow have, you know, played together for a while. And then you throw Tee Higgins in there. He's another good receiver, big guy. You know, so it's definitely going to be a challenge for us. You know, so we're just going to have to stay focused and prepare, you know, throughout the week for that challenge.
Jalen Hurts is also going to have to be a lot better than last week's 14 pass performance versus the Giants. Not that he was bad last week, he stayed turnover free, but you got to be able to keep drives alive. Continue to make plays with both the legs and the arms. Don't miss wide open receivers like he did a couple of times last week, because honestly, New York's offense was not really a threat to keep pace with the Birds versus, of course, the Bengals offense, which could score a lot of points every single drive. Oh, and please keep feeding Saquon Barkley. Obviously, a massive factor last week. If he has a big game, it forces the Bengals to go ahead and load the box, and therefore gives A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith one-on-one opportunities on the outside, which we know you have the best one-on-one wide receiver in the NFL in A.J. Brown. It's such a great opportunity for the Birds defense and Quinyon Mitchell, but especially Jalen Hurts, a chance to outduel a top-5 quarterback on the road and really prove to a lot of the media haters who have been piling on Hurts the past couple of weeks that, you know, he's had some up and down performances, but he can still go out there and put up some big-time numbers through the air and win, again, a major football game. Now, as far as injuries, linebacker Zack Baun practiced again yesterday. Seems like his whole shoulder situation is just fine. He will play. However, no Mekhi Becton, no Dallas Goedert on their final walkthrough on Friday. Both are most likely out. We'll know kind of for sure Sunday morning, but I would expect both of them to be gone. Either way, the Birds are relatively, minus those two, pretty healthy for this matchup. As far as injuries for the Bengals, keep an eye on left tackle Orlando Brown, who suffered a knee injury last week. He was limited Wednesday, Thursday, was full yesterday, but still not 100%. Here's to hoping the Eagle defensive line can take advantage of a slightly below average Bengal offensive line. Also yesterday, Tee Higgins suddenly appeared on the Bengals injury report, suffering a quad injury in practice. He's questionable. My guess he's going to play, but Tee Higgins has a career history of getting banged up, and hamstrings, as we know with A.J. Brown, are never simple, so definitely one to keep an eye on. If the Eagles just have to worry about Ja'Marr Chase and not Chase plus Higgins, that is a plus for the Birds. Overall, it's such a great opportunity for Philadelphia. All we've heard the past 2 weeks is, yeah, but it's the Giants. Yeah, but it's the Browns. You beat the Bengals and you look good doing it, you could have a real shift in how the media views a now 5-2 Eagle team heading into a critical part of their overall schedule with Dallas and the Commanders coming up the next couple of weeks. Something myself and Josh Davis talked about during our live show a couple of days ago. I love to buy into the Eagles. I love when the Eagles are good, and I'm starting to buy back into them the past 2 weeks. My hope is that they're starting to kind of get a little further into the Kellen Moore playbook, further into the Vic Fangio playbook. And this is just I had a comment basically say, Thomas, you said during the offseason it might take a couple of weeks. And this is just them taking a couple of weeks and then look good, which, I mean, they look pretty bad for a couple of these games. The Tampa game is an awful watch. If you go back and watch that, I mean, gee whiz. But, I'm hopeful. So we'll see.
It's hard to be patient at times.
It is hard to be patient, especially when they can't stop anybody in the Tampa game.
Sure.
Adam with the 10. Hey, Thomas and Josh, want to say thank you for all you do for the Birds. Your insight is amazing and cover. Appreciate that. That being said, I feel like we win 21-14, low-scoring affair. Love you, boys, and go Birds. Wow, I appreciate that a lot.
Go Birds.
21-14.
It might be Adam. I don't know if it's Adam or Adam, but...
Oh, it's a good point. It might be Adam.
Either way, we appreciate that, and go Birds.
Either way, I did see the comment. There's a couple below that I think go well with Adam's comment here, and saying that Burrow is going to throw very, very quickly like the Tampa Bay Bucks did. Let's hope they have an answer to that this time, because they, for whatever reason, decided that 3rd down and 2, they're going to play 10 yards off coverage, which is the worst thing in the entire National Football League, and got shredded by Baker. Hopefully that's not the case. But I did see, who was this? Oh, I just lost it. Where is it? Louise Harris, the last word. She's a regular on the channel. She says, since his offensive line is ranked 21st, we should put Burrow on his back. There's the hope. So,
yes,
I agree.
And he's going to hold on to the ball.
High scoring. A little more than 21-14, but if we hold Joe Burrow to 14 points, goodness gracious, it's going to be a very fun time.
I would
Adam,
love to see it as well.
Also with the 5, I also think Q probably holds Chase and Higgins under 50. Slade's going to get cooked. I just don't have faith in him. Unfortunately, he doesn't seem to care. I get that. I've been critical of Darius Slay. I think a lot of us have, Josh, but his numbers recently have been pretty good the past 2 weeks, again, against, bad quarterbacks. But I don't know if he doesn't care. True. I just think there's a little more me and a little less we when it comes to Slay. But not to the scale where he doesn't care. But
yeah,
I agree with that.
Shout out to him. He played much better. He locked down the league numbers. So he was able to live up to expectations. I just think it's one of those, it's the National Football League. And ultimately, I'm sure probably 90% of the chat plays fantasy, right? We play fantasy. So you go into a game, and as fans, as Eagles fans, I want Tee Higgins and Jamar Chase to both be crap. And I want Joe Burrow to have a terrible day and all this stuff. But realistically, we still go into it and saying, most likely one of those receivers is going to get theirs. And so I'm curious, who does that end up falling on? Is it Q? Does he make some mistakes? Does he have a rookie game? Or is it Slay? And we see kind of the trajectory or some issues that we've seen a little bit pop up here or there. But it'll be good. It'll be a good matchup, and I'm excited to see it.
You know what's the most interesting thing about the Bengals this week, Josh? We're coming off of, right, we had a loss, or a bye week, I guess, but a loss before the bye week, and then we obviously have the bye week. And we played the Browns and then the Giants, and it's back-to-back wins. Are the Eagles back? Are we buying back in? Cincinnati lost to Baltimore in that kind of nail-biting 41-38 where their defense got shredded. Then they played the Giants on the road and the Browns, and they beat both of them kind of okay. 17-7 against the Giants, 21-14 versus the Browns. We're coming off of the same 2 opponents the past 2 weeks, and Cincinnati's in the exact same boat. Is Cincinnati back? Are they going to go on the Joe Burrow November run? It's going to be very interesting as an immovable object kind of meets a, whatever the other term is, the force you can't stop or whatever, however that goes.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
An unstoppable force. There it is.
And Cincinnati's better than what people, because I remember early in the season, people were like, oh man, we shouldn't be able to, but they're Cincinnati's a little bit better. They're improving. They have a lot to play for. Shout out to J62 Moon with a 2 saying Cincinnati is playing for their season on Sunday. Yeah. They got a lot to play for, and there's a extra emphasis. They take a look at the league and say, okay, Baltimore, they're legit. Everyone sees that, but if they want to try to make a move, okay, build some momentum, get these wins strung together, could be 500. Also, Eagle One was asking, is Underdog Florida friendly? It is. You can do the pick'em.
It is
in Florida.
Yes.
So
yes, it is.
Feel free.
That's why I use it. It's Atlanta and Texas friendly too. That's why we use it.
There you go. Yes,
it's fun. Fun times.
It's good. I think that I'm gonna have to go with a. The more that I think about it is because they have a lot of props for sacks and everything else too.
Oh yeah.
But somebody made the comment earlier of the defensive or the offensive line of Cincinnati being 21st, and Joe Burrow holds onto the ball typically a little longer. Now, it'll be interesting. Do they change up the game plan? Do they have a little bit quicker throws? But if it's the standard Cincinnati offense, I'm kind of thinking to go with one of the sack totals there. Usually you can pick an individual player, and this past game is actually a multiplier for Bryce Huff. I don't know if I'd go Bryce Huff, but Jalen Carter, he got 2 already. You kind of see the bread man getting going now. That feels like a pretty good. So you pair that one with maybe a Smitty touchdown, and then you have to pick a player from the opposing team. So I don't know. We have to figure out where we're going to go.
I'm going with Burrow under 255 passing yards. I think, going back to Quinyon play, one of them getting exposed. I think Chase could have 100 yards, Josh, but it might be like a 60-yard play and then like 4 more catches for 40, right? He's not like he's dominating. He has one kind of big catch, and then that's basically it. I think Q's ready. I have fully bought into Quinyon Mitchell. I think Quinyon Mitchell is. I was always jealous of Denver when they got Patrick Surtain. Like I love Surtain coming out of the draft. I really thought he was going to be a great cornerback. He's been better than even I really thought coming out of Alabama. But just the idea of having a Patrick Surtain is so exciting for any sort of defense because he just shuts down your opposing team's best player. And will Quinyon be Patrick Surtain? I don't know. It's definitely too early. He could get torched on Sunday versus Jamar Chase. But it feels like we have the closest we've ever really had to like that shutdown superstar, no-nonsense cornerback that you just don't even throw at. I mean, they're barely throwing at Quinyon Mitchell the past couple of weeks. They kind of test him once or twice, and that deep ball against the Giants where he basically ran the route for Malik Neighbors was basically it. It was like, okay, it's not going to work. We'll kind of just, throw to this side of the football field, and so I'm pumped. That really is the marquee matchup. It is probably one of the best matchups of the entire football Sunday coming up, is watching the rookie go against and Chase is, different than A.J. Brown. He's like Smitty, but bigger, right? He runs routes really well. He's extremely quick, but he's not as small as Devontae Smith is. It's going to be crazy. And I think that we just have to sit back and understand. I thought about this yesterday. We don't realize what it's like coming into the league as a top prospect at cornerback and then being baptized by fire every single day by A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and what that does for your career. I think that it is if he would have rolled in here and been on any other football team going against their wide receivers on any given day, right? It's like, okay, we're playing against NFL talent, but you're not playing against the NFL talent. A.J. Brown's the best receiver in football, and he went one-on-one every single day for 3, 4, 5 weeks during training camp. The things it does for a young player, I think, is unbelievable, and we're going to look back on Q's career and be like, this was one of the reasons why, because he got baptized by the best and is now playing against seemingly second-rate players who are still really great each and every week on other teams.
I mean, I don't want to call it too soon either, so I do appreciate the stance of like a Patrick Surtain, but at the same time, and I play the clip here of, the Malik Neighbors where he goes ahead and hits him and the play's going the completely other way. Like, he's just got that dog in him. Like, Quinyon Mitchell is what we anticipate or what we wanted him to be, the expectation, and it's very early, I know that, so we're not like trying to jinx anything, but like, he has that ability that we've continued to see, and now he's got a little bit. We hope to continue to build on that. But he's got a little bit of tape out there of like, okay, these are some good players that he shut down. And he's had a ridiculous passer rating against in a really good way, pass breakups. He's going to continue to get tested because he's a rookie. But I'm right there with you. Yes, like I want to see him continue to own up to the challenge every single week. And another thing, too, that I don't think he gets enough credit. Like we talk about him some, but Christian Parker. Like, oh yeah, his because we say like Patrick Surtain, but the similarities there, or at least the ability to get him to that level is, I mean, almost identical. Because you've got a Vic Fangio and you've got a Christian Parker, and Christian Parker was able to take Patrick Surtain. Not that he wasn't great coming into the league, but just help him continue to develop in the NFL game. And so, same deal. Like when you draft a Quinyon Mitchell, when you draft a Cooper DeJean, it's no coincidence why these guys are ready, and they're coming in and making an impact very soon because of Christian Parker. So I think there's a lot of credit. Again, I think we just see the different mentality that Q has on the field. So hopefully he brings it, because he's going to get a lot of jawing probably. I mean, Jamar Chase, he'll let him hear it. A lot of emotion on the field as well. So I don't know. I mean, Hannah here with a 2, appreciate that, said coming out, scoring in the first quarter is the key, beating the Bengals. Ultimately, yes.
7-0.
Start out
8
soon.
minutes to go in the first. That'd be crazy.
I can't imagine any points, honestly, in the first quarter yet. Like we keep saying it, but at this point, like I need to see it now. Otherwise, I'm gonna be like, no, it sounds good, but until they prove me otherwise.
And myself and Josh Davis will be live, as we usually are, for the entire Eagle-Bengal game. Be sure to subscribe, turn the notification bell, and join us for our weekly watch party. Bunch of fun. You can have the TV on and also turn us on. Watch us during commercial breaks, halftime, whatever you guys want to do. We'll jump on about 12:45 p.m. Eastern time on Sunday. So go ahead, again, hit the notification bell so you know whenever we go live. I'm Thomas Mott, ready for a road trip to Cincinnati. This has been the Thomas Mott Show.